I listened to this interview on this podcast, right? And it's exclusively on Spotify. So if you don't have Spotify, I apologize. If you don't know who I'm talking about or what I'm going to be talking about, I apologize. But I recommend you guys listen to it if you guys get a chance. So DJ Akademiks has his podcast, right? And he has it exclusively on Spotify. And I watched his most recent episode. Well, actually, I should say I listened to his most recent episode that he did with Brittany Renner. Now, if you don't know who Brittany Renner is, she is I would call her an IG Instagram model slash influencer slash author slash creative slash hustler. For a fact, I'll give her all that. She says that she hopped on Instagram in 2012, which is nearing a decade. And she's, and also former professional athlete, professional soccer player, um, like I said, author, published author at that. And I listened to let me give a little more for that too. So, recently she's been getting like a bad rep and got a lot of heat for her public life or private life, I could say, when it comes to her family. And she had to give a quick summary on this. It's just she was in a relationship, and she was married to this NBA player, and they had a kid together, and then shortly after they split. That's life. Shit happens. That's not the story there. It's the freaking wave of shit that she started, or flack, I would say, that she started getting after all that. And she's, admittedly, when she talks about in the interview, she plays into that villain role and gets looked at a certain way. And I thought it was a really good dynamic, or a really good take on both sides of the spectrum on this one, because in this side you have this female who, what I would say, she's only been putting out on the internet, on Instagram, what you guys want to see. That's with anything. Everybody does that, right? So she talks about like Instagram being like, it's not real. That's like her playground, and it's she only puts out what she wants y'all to see. But in this dynamic that you have DJ Academics, which he goes hard in the paint for. I ain't gonna lie, he goes in on a few things. But it's interesting because he gives his perspective and his dynamic on her own life and her own business without even really even knowing the gist of everything and all the details for everything. But I think it's interesting because he's not only speaking for himself, but he's actually speaking for a lot of people on the internet. And you can take that with a grain of salt. You don't have to take that like, oh, like it's just the internet, a bunch of people behind a computer or their phones. A lot of them are bots, or a lot of people are trolls, and that's true. But he's speaking from their perspective. You know what I mean? And there's a few times where she'll be like, "What do you say?" And you could tell there's like a shift there. But I thought it was interesting dynamic because it does show there is a lesson learned from that. Is that you're critiquing, meaning him. You are getting he's getting his perception, and he's getting his opinions based off of public information, meaning like what has either been put out there, what she's allowed to have been put out there, or what is going out there to the masses. So there's two sides to one story, and then there's the truth. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So it was interesting to see them go back and forth and kind of clear the air on a few things while still putting their opinions for a few things. And yeah, I thought the conversation itself was a great conversation. I thought there was pieces that a lot of people can learn from and talk about, and it does really, kind of give insight, or at least I felt like it gave insight to what social media is, and that is just a bunch of opinions from people that don't matter or who are non-existent in your personal lives. But it shows how it can also affect your way of thinking, because in that same conversation that she's saying, like, you don't know me, the people don't know me, Instagram doesn't know me, they only see what I want you guys to see. You can see how it did change at least a mindset, and it did kind of put on a different lane, or create a new path. And like I said, that she's playing into right now, which is that villain role. And I don't want to put words in either of them their mouths. And I'm not a fucking I'm not a blogger, I'm not a journalist, I'm not a person that's fucking out here looking, trying to scoop in a story or stuff like that. I'm just a regular ass person that just enjoyed the conversation and was giving my 2 cents in it. The 2 cents that nobody asked for, but yeah, I'm here on a podcast doing it.